Someone made you cry. You woke up. You decided to argue with someone on the internet. And then he spewed stereotypes at you. And he made you weep. It reminded you of the time when you were 10 years old. You got stereotyped. You got put in a box. That's not you. That's not who you are. You felt misunderstood. Your whole life. You're a human being with feelings and thoughts. You can't tolerate this. But it's okay. I have the solution for you. You will defeat those people. It's okay. Anyway, guys, enough of that. 16 sociotypes, stereotypes debunked. Let's go, boys and girls. Big thank you to my supporters on Coffee. We have 2 members already. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. 2 blog posts going. Stay tuned for more, because there will be more. I will release a character analysis next. Anyway, let's go. EIE Stereotype. So, stupid, shallow, attention-seeking, and has no NI. That's one of those stereotypes. We kind of see the expressive, wild, insane, maniacal. Zero NI. Like, this individual is not an intuitive type whatsoever. So, don't type them as such. Christ. Second one is elegant, which is the complete opposite, complete extreme opposite. Elegant, sophisticated, ice queen, ice lady, sorceress. This is what people think Yennefer is, like, whoa, another, man, it's horrible. In reality, EIEs are much more scattered. Yes, they are very good at making certain impressions and having a certain impression on the environments with emotionality, so affecting the emotional sphere of the environment. They kind of know how to do that, how to manipulate those impressions and those atmospheres. But they're often very focused on self-expression. Okay, we would most likely call them spiritual hobos more than elegant ladies who are ice queen. Think of someone like Russell Brand or Helena Bonham Carter, right? Those 2 individuals kind of are that way, have their own style, have their own way of talking, being very eccentric. They stand out. That's how I would kind of look at FOS, we look at EIEs, they stand out. EIEs do have very strong predisposition to escape to fantasy, so it's a very strong focus on fantasy and kind of using it to your advantage, creativity. So next is IEI. We have 2 stereotypes with IEI. We have helpless victim, no SE. Somehow SE disappeared. Weird hybrid of SEI and EII. This is what people think is submissive. She's submissive, so I'm gonna type her as IEI, but it doesn't work. Second stereotype is no ambition, lazy, useless, and impractical. Another huge problem. So the truth. It's different. It's different. IEIs do value SE. They value SE. They will become forceful. They can become aggressive. They can. And if you've ever been in a debate with one, if you've ever been in a discussion, more heated discussion, you will know what I'm saying. They can become pushy, push and pull, forceful, and if you push them to the breaking point when they are very emotional, that's where you'll see even more SE. The SE is going to be all over the place, unstable use of it, and can, in extreme cases, can even lead to aggression and violence. Like, that's how extreme, in those extreme cases, it can be. Make no mistake, they value SE. They're not EIIs. They clearly value SE. And also, they do enjoy having a strong individual. They enjoy strong people who know how to motivate them, who know how to kind of push them to achieve their goals. So they appreciate that. Even, again, it's not for everyone. Not everyone might enjoy like a harsh pushing, like, yo, do something, get the fuck up, what you doing, you pussy. Like, they might not enjoy that, but the IEI actually can, from certain types of individuals, enjoy it. It motivates them, pushes them forward. They need that fire. Another thing that people kind of don't know about IEI is that low-key, and I mean low-key, an IEI might look at other people and think they're weak. Not everyone, but they don't like weak people. We associate those traits with beta STs, but oftentimes, beta NFs don't like weak people. People who lack willpower, maybe say they will say something, maybe say they'll do something, and they never did it. They lack the willpower to achieve their goal. So the IEI might not be vocal about the dislike of that kind of quality or that kind of individuals, but they won't like him. They won't like them at all. IEI's TE pollen manifests not just in their daily life. You think, oh, daily life, they don't know how to tell difference between fiction and reality. They don't ever use sources for anything. That's not true. I mean, most IEIs I know use sources to learn, because that's how a human being will learn. But they often do rely on their own logical structures when it comes to forming ideas in their framework. Now, The TE Polar really shows itself actually in an overarching theme of their life. Things about they're very idealistic. It's about romance, it's about love, it's about passion, it's about dreams. So that is what they're pursuing. They're not going through life thinking, how do I maximize how do I optimize efficiency, how do I optimize the best way, best solution to this situation, what's the most pragmatic. That's not the way to go about life. To them, that life would be meaningless. It wouldn't make sense to go around that. It takes away from beauty of life, meaning. Pragmatism to an IEI is cold. It's impersonal. It doesn't have feelings, nothing. It simply wants to achieve something in the quickest way possible. That's it. To an IEI, no. That's scary. They don't want that. They want passion and that idealism. So that's where the TE Polar will show itself. So no, you can have you can be TE Polar, you can be in an IEI, and you guess what? You can save money. You cannot be just completely impulsive with your buyings and how to handle certain day-to-day matters. That's not how it's gonna kind of work. It's going to be on more deeper and nuanced level where your TE Poly might not really function as it should. It just means you're not going to be as quick with it. You're not going to pay attention to it initially, like an LIE would, or even SLE. So there's that. Let's move to forward. Let's go with SLE. So SLE, we kind of think of first. The most common would be stupid brood. We think SLE stupid brood, forceful, and he does not care about anyone. That's our first impression of that. It's kind of thing like some certain ESTP 8 course. That's what we imagine. Reality is very different though. I mean, SLEs are individuals who are quite great at creating certain structures, creating change, tearing certain structures down and implementing new order. While they can struggle with maintaining it, that ability is still there. Great tacticians who know how to maximize certain benefits in that moment, how to take control of situations, maximize profit. Those are SLEs, so they're not just stupid people. They're very, very systematic, very logically consistent. Again, people who can do a lot. People who can do a lot and they have a brain. So the way I would see an SLE is a person who has a brain, but they also have this. So it's a dangerous combination because it's a person who can, again, if it pops off, this fist is going to be on your temple. But they can also be quite intelligent. They can be quite good and smart and pragmatic and systematic. So there is this kind of thing to SLEs that people really don't understand. They don't get that. Now, have no attachments. They don't care about anyone. That's a typical, oh, he's a bipolar take. It actually don't even make sense. Gee, listen, FI is not just about caring about people. Like SLEs are normal individuals. They are normal human beings. Yes, they do care about people. Now, what is the reality here is that it's hard to navigate those personal sentiments, how they feel about stuff. And SLE doesn't really sit down and know how he feels about people, how he feels about stuff, and it's not even relevant anyway. Someone's your friend or someone's not your friend, someone's your family or someone's not your family. They don't really sit too much to kind of dwell on those things. It's pointless. It's true that they're a bit more impersonal in their dealings and they don't focus on character judgments or judging the sentiments of other people. So that is all true, which can lead to them being betrayed, as I said before. But they can same way be devoted to you or love you or care about you. Now, if you expect it's not a person who will go around bonding with people on some personal level. It is true. It's not going to be, let's get cozy like some people do. Let's get cozy. You sing me a song, I will dance, and you'll tell me how you feel. I'll tell you how I feel. We'll like explore our feelings. No, it's corny. Like, please leave the corniness. That's not gonna be there. And SLE's friendship or bond is probably gonna be more focused on, usually, unless it's romantic, on experiences, shared experiences, brotherhood. We go through things together. We have the same beliefs, we have the same mission, we have the same goal. That is what bonds an SLE to his people. Some people have this weird, almost SEE imagination of how SLEs are like. They think they're hyper impulsive. They don't plan, they don't think. They just act in the moment on their desires, what they want in the moment, how they feel about things. They're disorganized, chaotic, and forceful. And it's like, you're not describing an SLE, you're describing an SE. So, absolutely not as I said earlier, systematic, tactical people, impersonal, not people oriented in a sense, but systematic order, not disorganization. Order is necessary. We got LSI. So, two stereotypes I would say. One is this idea that there's only one kind of LSI, military LSI, that just is like a general and he's a drill sergeant and he's a badass. The reality is, many profiles of LSIs kind of describe them as organizers of systems, people who check for consistency within an organization. Maybe they check that everything is checked out, everything is as it should be, right? What's right, what's not right, what's correct, what's not correct. They can be quite intellectual, so LSIs are very intellectual people. That's also forgotten about LSIs. We just think of them as discount SLEs, tough guys who's gonna go to war with anything and anyone. While in reality, they're just not like that. They're simply not. They're TI based. They're not SE based. So don't confuse them. Don't make them into a mini version of SLEs. Because I don't think they even want that. They don't even want that. Another stereotype we have here is the expressionless people who are called as ice. Now, it is true that they're cold. That LSIs can be quite cold, but at the end of the day, they do value FE. So they do within a group of people, they can become more rowdy. They can kind of get into the groove, especially when probed by high FE people. One to one and all of that situation, you might not really get the same response, but the FE valued is FE valued either way. There's this weird thing where many silent badasses, those inexpressive, cold guys in those like old West movies, he just wants to drink his like whiskey and be left alone. Something happens, he smacks him in the face. Everyone types him in LSI 8 core. In reality, he's like an SLI or something. Like he's not even TI base. So remember, an LSI is a TI base. If you're not TI base, if there's no TI base, you cannot be. You're looking at the wrong type. You're probably looking at an SLI. But you think, since both are masculine, maybe this individual is masculine, you now type him as an LSI because he also punched him in the face, so he must value SE. No, please no. Please leave the vicinity. LIE. This one's quite nice. We have two stereotypes again. We have businessman, CEO Thomas Shelby, Sigma male. Right? Sigma male. I know, it's cringy. It's corny. Oh, Sigma male. Yeah. Two, nerd. So it's funny, there's two completely different stereotypes. Extremes. Nerd, ENTP like. Loves playing with ideas and turning them into something profitable. Doesn't wash himself. He's a bum. Too focused on achieving success, so he even forgets to brush his teeth. That's how stereotypes paint those LIEs. Now the truth lies somewhere in the middle. LIEs are certainly driven to achieve. They're certainly driven to want to make impact in the tangible world, in the world of pragmatism. I would say that most importantly, they're geeks. LIEs, most importantly, are nerds. They're intellectuals who, again, many LIEs probably have many interests. Those people who like to know many different things, unrelated things, technology, history, biology, math, finance, economy, everything bit by bit they can be into. That kind of just ability to gain information here, gain information there, and turn things into profit, into business endeavors. Those people are geniuses at that. But there's a level of geekism that other types just don't have, man. It's like any demo and TE base, just it's amazing. It's overpowered. Now the whole idea of them now washing themselves being bums, it's too easy to stereotype them like that. No, not every LI is gonna be wearing a suit and be a business in business clothes, but that does not to say they cannot be that way if they wish to make a certain impression. What they all share is SI polar. Now it doesn't mean that they're bums, but more so that they are extremely restless individuals who neglect taking care of themselves because they're striving to work on their projects. They're striving to push forward and achieve greatness. So that's why they neglect themselves. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy, eh? This Thomas Shelby Sigma male guy who never struggled with volition or SE is not an individual who is an LIE. Because LIEs do struggle with that. LIEs, especially when they're younger, when they're growing up, they kind of do tap into the SE more in the mid 20s, and they become more decisive in the moment, more action oriented, less geeky. Maybe lift some weights, maybe get bigger, maybe kind of Stop thinking everything about future, but more in the moment. And that only happens when they're older. But that SE is something they grow into. It's not like SLEs, So it's not the same thing. There was a YouTuber, I forgot the name, Jason, I think. I think it was Jason. Maybe Jason. Hopefully I didn't fuck up his name. But Jason, cool guy. I saw his video, and he kind of made those differences between both types, and that's actually very, very accurate. SCE, this is good one. So there's two stereotypes. One, impulsive fuckboy with no brain, which can be true. Second, charming businessman charlatan who will throw his own mother under the bus. I want to give a different take on SEs. I want to give a bit of a different take on SEs, because I know we're bashing SEs, we're bashing them remorselessly with zero regret. Many SEs, 8 cores, I've seen that are very rebellious. They go their own way, really rebellious. They are anti-government. They want to live on their own terms. Think of them as outlaws. So an SE 8 core is like an outlaw. It's a nice manifestation of the type now, ain't it? But many SEs are often into expression. You'd be surprised, but often into self-expression. So many of them can even seem like beta and Fs. Art, music, poetry, very good poetry. They can be into, again, gathering a lot of information. They can know all kinds of facts. SEs are TI Polar, they don't think. They're stupid. But they have to immobilizing. It's try hard, and they love to gather information. And they can spend hours doing it. I mean, I've known SEs who can pull up information from history like it's no tomorrow. Like, it's incredible how they do that. But that is how it goes for SEs. So again, highly misunderstood type. I just think there's more to them than just being, going on fucking bitches or all of that kind of thing. There's definitely, yes, they're definitely more charming and opportunistic and highly impulsive individuals. There's no denying that they are those things, disorganized and all of that thing. But what about the fact that they can often seek purpose? They can often seek meaning in life, right? What about that? No one talks about that. But anti-immobilizing, people ignore T-immobilizing for sure. Now, ESI. The stereotypes are pretty simple. Cold, inflexible, boring, and NPC-like. Right? That's how we think. And we almost make them sound like an LSI. Which is why many people ask, oh, am I an ESI or LSI? If both are cold. The truth is, at the end of the day, ESIs are an ethical type. They're an ethical type. They're focused on their personal relations, their emotions, how they feel about things, their likes, their dislikes. All of that is something incredibly important to them. They will fight for their morals and for what they believe is right. Now, while outwardly they might be a bit stiff, outwardly they might appear a bit more aloof, a bit more cold, more robotic in a sense, more stiff, more awkward. That does not mean that they won't want to warm up to you. If they warm up to you, they can be quite nice. They can be quite fun people who know how to engage with you and give you a good time. So they kind of know that. Not just a boring person who doesn't really think. Again, very deep internal world. They often drawn to self-expression too. ESIs are often drawn to self-expression, journaling or poetry or fantasy. Those things can still be present with ESIs. ILI. Honestly, it's funny, but I couldn't really find many stereotypes, but I know one of them being like a mastermind, like some mastermind, like in MBTI, and the other being like a virgin, like an incel virgin. So those are two like stereotypes I could really think of. When it comes to the whole mastermind thing, I would say ILIs are more critics than masterminds. They're not a person who's gonna now we formulate a plan and we stick to this plan at all costs. It's like, no, they're great at picking at things. What works, what doesn't. Let's see, let's pick at this. They're critics, critical of systems, critical of ideas, and they know how to pick things apart. That is how ILIs actually work. No mastermind BS. And virgin incel, we can of course argue that that's what they are. But I would actually say that this weird community of those incels and men go their own way losers, it's more beta quadra. I would expect that more from my male IEIs actually than anything else, funnily enough. So there is that. ILIs are more indifferent to those communities. They're indifferent. they would be more busy working on themselves, working on their projects. Again, very introverted. I would say there would be more indifference to that. If they really wanted to find a partner, I think they would. I think they would. I think they could. So that's not a problem. Next, SLI. Stereotype is fat, lazy, obese, and some mechanic guy. Of course, and a second stereotype would be kind of mistyped LSI who is very chill, wants to be left in peace, and will punch you in the face if you get in the way. That's another stereotype. Reality is SLIs are very capable at sustaining physical harmony. Obviously, they kind of know what's comfortable for them and what they want, what kind of um, physical experience, inner experience they want to achieve. I know many SLIs who, yes, they want to be fit, they want to stay in shape, they like to hike, they like to go on walks, they like to enjoy sports, they like to enjoy bodybuilding, anything very physically oriented that gives them, in for them, it's it's about comfort really, but they like indulging in those physical activities. I think it gives them peace. There is a rock climber, I forgot his name. I might link him maybe or something, or might show a picture of him. But he's so SLI. This guy is SLI, and he used to do free solo. Free solo meaning he used to like rock climb huge mountains with no rope, nothing, like free for all. If he would fall, he would die, and he used to do that. Like an SLI dude living in a trailer, like very like again chill, like, and that's it. So rock climbing and nature and all of those things SLIs really do like. LSC, a normie dad who just wants to work and wants to chill. The truth is I really don't know many LSCs, I'm gonna be honest with you. Maybe I've met some, yet I wasn't aware that they are LSCs. Probably. I would say reality is that they have many various interests outside of work. They can be quite curious people. So they make great managers in work, but they also enjoy their free time. That's the difference between them and LIEs. Those people really like to be cozy. They like to enjoy themselves. Again, engaging in those activities that gives them comfort and relaxes them. They need their free time. Fitness, hiking, cooking, all of those things that they enjoy. They also are great at kind of providing those things for other people. They kind of know what other people want. So I think it's misunderstood type. We think they're NI creative, NI polar, so they don't think much at all on a deeper level. Reality is they're simply pragmatic realists. That's really it. But there is much more to them, and I've known some that had again very interesting ideas and hobbies. EII. So EII is an interesting one. So like a weird confusion of like a weird hybrid of SEI and IEI. But in reality, they're not soft cupcakes who are very like expressive and so sweet and innocent. That's not the vibe you would get from actually EII. That's more SEI. They're much more outwardly stoic. They're more withdrawn and gentle. They're not dramatic in expression, right? Not very dramatic people. They're not beta and Fs. Much more stubborn, though. People sleep on this. Much more stubborn and quietly judgmental. Like they are very quietly judgmental individuals. They might not get into conflict with you. They will not do that for sure, but they can be quite judgy. So that kind of thing has to go. Kev IEE. Now, I know I butchered IEs. I mean, I butchered them, I slaughtered them, and they were hopeless. They couldn't do anything. But let's change that. The stereotype is brainless flying helicopter who thinks all combinations are possible. Again, not a very bright person. That's what we think. Reality is different. Very creative people know how to inspire others. Excel in communication and interpersonal relations with other people. Very creative, inspiration people. They know how to inspire you, how to make you reach your potential. Great in communication and interpersonal relations. Right? Yes, they do struggle with logical consistency, being organized, organizing their ideas and thoughts. So some of it can seem all over the place. You know, it can seem very disorganized. I'm sure for an LSI, it would probably not fly, but they are very good again in dealing with social things, with people, and generating ideas. So I think they're quite bright and very inquisitive, very interested people who are open to life, high openness to experience, like extremely high openness to experience. They just have almost like a love for life, you know. So there's that. ESC. That's an interesting one. That's a very interesting one. So it's a startup of a very good person who just wants to spread positive energy to you. No negativity. Will bake you a cake, and that's it. right? Their reality is different. They can be extremely overwhelming. They can have complete ignorance of people's boundaries. They're extremely sensitive, very fucking sensitive, very emotional, very emotionally charged. In many SESCs, you kind of feel like it's all feelings. They're literally powered by they're controlled by emotions. There's nothing in the other than just feelings controlling them, and it's so pure emotionality in the purest form, even more than EIEs or anything I've ever seen. So it's quite interesting, but pushy, quite privileged in some instances, almost entitled to their wants and desires that can actually happen. And I wouldn't say that they're good at really reading people on a deep level. They're really not. They're really not good at that. I mean, goddamn ESEs, you guys are so busy, like spurging, that you have no idea how people might even see you or might even react to you on a deeper level. Not just, I don't mean just what's expressed, but what they think, you know. So that's the pain of the NI Polar, but that's something we didn't know. We just thought they're like goody two shoes who bake cakes. Sorry, SCIs, but I really don't have anything to say about you guys. You live up to your stereotypes in a good way. Okay, that's it. ILE, we think of them as a troll who makes weird arguments to elicit reactions in people to provoke them, because he gets off on those reactions. That actually stereotype would be more, I would say, would apply more to EIEs. That's what I would say. The truth is, they're much more intellectual, much more focused on ideas, much more focused on systemizing information. Geeks, geeks. That's what I'm saying, geeks. So people who are quite intellectual, systemize, understand, play with possibilities, be open. You know, again, information. Where can I do this? What can I do this? Geek over it. Geek over it. Almost like a weird INTP in MBTI. Almost not even an ENTP. Almost like an INTP-ish, minus the social awkwardness. But that is kind of how they are like. LII, last one. So LII would be, I can't deal with SE at all. And people think, oh, it would be mean that he would have a mental breakdown. He would start crying, please don't use SE. Reality is different, right? It's not like that. It's not like that at all. They're rational and they promote reason and kind of acting within reason. That's it. Acting rational. To them, achieving their goal using force and pushing you is not gonna do. It's not rational. It's not based on reason. They would rather use arguments and logic to convince you. Now, what happens when you press an EII with SE? What do you think happens? You start maybe in a heated debate. You start using more. You start using more SE. Then what? What will happen? Well, nothing. Nothing was gonna happen because the LII is gonna stay grounded. He's gonna plant his foot down, and he's gonna be extremely stubborn. And he's gonna double down. So nothing's gonna happen. He's not gonna engage in your SE battle. He's not gonna engage in it. He's okay. You keep on doing your thing. He will talk normally, like he will talk reason. And if it gets too much, he'll disengage. He's gonna go away. Because again, if you're not able to talk and communicate in a rational way, you're a monkey. To an LII, you're just a monkey, and they will not want to discuss it with you. Bye. That's it. So that is how it works for LIIs. Anyway, that's it for today. Again, like and subscribe. Let's go. 2K. We're waiting. See you next time.